What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Naj and Reina, wine and reactions.
Drinking things.
So it's been a nice little time. Um, we went to Los Angeles.
Yeah, we have fun.
It
We
was
went
fun.
to we went to Anaheim and visited Los Angeles.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
And then Reina's birthday is tomorrow,
My birthday is tomorrow. Forgot about that.
July 30th.
Mm-hmm.
I literally, never mind.
July 30th, 1995.
Hmm.
So cool.
And we're going to Mexico.
We're going to Mexico.
I don't know why it took me so hard to get out. The 31st.
Why it took me so hard.
The 31st. I was trying to think, like, when are we going? We're going in like 2 days for a week. That's going to be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to the topic of this video, all right? So,
Yeah, because we're going to go see Nope after this.
yeah.
And we don't know how it's going to go, so.
Your boy, Mr. Get Jiggy With It, has apologized to Chris Rock. You know, getting jiggy.
Oh, I didn't
with
know
it.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what we were talking about.
He put it on Instagram today.
Oh, it took that long? It's like 3 months later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's like an apology video to everybody, but he specifically was, you know.
He must be
calling
feeling
that.
the burn even more now.
Yeah, I forgot. He went.
He must have thought it was going to blow over. Nah, brother. They're like, no, we're not done with you.
Yeah. So let's check this out, all right?
I'm ready. That's
All
interesting.
right. Let's turn this volume up right fast.
Mm-hmm.
Dito.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk. I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and you know, that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, and you know, I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment. So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family, specifically Tony Rock. You know, we had a great relationship. You know, Tony Rock was my man. And this is probably irreparable. I spent the last 3 months
Don't stop it.
replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment. And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now, but I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults. After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No. It's like, you know, I made a choice on my own from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I'm gonna say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on all of us. To all my fellow nominees, this is a community. It's like I won because you voted for me, and it really breaks my heart to have stolen and tarnished your moment. I can still see Questlove's eyes. It happened on Questlove's award, and it's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient. What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let down? So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down. So it hurts. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me. And the work I'm trying to do is I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself, right? I'm human, and I made a mistake, and I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of shit. So I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking. But I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world. And, if you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
Dito.
Big Will. And then what do you call
It
itself?
was.
So, what I'll say is that was a really good thing to do. That was a really solid thing for him to do, to come out and express his thoughts like that. Um, I think it was really cool. I think that's some grown man shit. If you know that you fucked up like that, like because the reason why I say that is because how much smaller Chris Rock is compared to Will Smith. Just that level
6'4",
alone. 6'3", 225 at minimum.
Thick.
Chris Rock is maybe 5'9", 5'10", maybe. Maybe 150 ish. And just that in and of itself, and then on top of that, we weren't doing YouTube videos at the time when that happened, right? So we never really got to talk about the actual situation. But in addition to just going up there and doing that, one of the most disrespectful things that you can do to a man is slap him in his face. I'd rather, if we get into it, I'd rather you punch me than slap me in my face. That's just next level. He literally open hand slapped him in front of the entire world, and he has to deal with that, right? So on top of that, so then realized, I guess a few months went by, and he realized, okay, well, probably shouldn't have done that, to come back and apologize, because he could have just let it die down. You know how this is in social media. You can, I've been stopped thinking about that. It became a meme and everything. People moved on. Nobody's really thinking about it. He could just let it die down and moved on with his life, But to actually go ahead and make a full apology video, that's real solid. It's interesting that Chris Rock his approach. Um, he wasn't ready to talk to him. I think that's pretty solid as well. Because if you're not ready to actually have that conversation, it's better to do what he did than to just do it just because he wants to apologize. You know, what you think?
Here's the thing. I struggled with the entire situation before, so I don't know if people are gonna like my response, but I struggled with it. Chris Rock was a victim, right? But I am a huge Will Smith fan, and it took a lot. Like that all those unconscious biases you talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It took a lot for me to stop being so biased towards it because I was like, well, he was talking about his wife. I don't want someone to do it for me. But at the same time, it's like this is like the real world. This is, we're not in fucking medieval times, and ultimately, you had a real big ass stage on live television where Will Smith made that choice. And as much as I love Will Smith, it's not fair to Chris Rock to dismiss it or be like, okay, well, someone got slapped in a very embarrassing way that then went viral, and then he had to deal with all the memes where people were making fun of Chris Rock getting slapped. Even though Chris Rock's a comedian, it's it's fucked up. It was fucked up. But with that being said, if I'm gonna be unbiased still, I think 3 months is way too late. Mm-hmm. We're not even thinking about it no more. So it's it's really way too late. It should have came within a week or two of it happening. And I think it speaks to kind of how everyone responded in when it happened, where Will Smith was being consoled and he was Denzel Washington was holding him and hey man, it's okay. People were
I didn't see that.
yeah, I mean there was a lot of people that were on his side initially until they saw how bad the backlash was. And they kind of all just kind of scattered away we don't want to be part of this. But I think on one end, as a man, hearing someone make fun of your wife's, situation, I think alopecia is a horrible thing. I don't suffer from it, but I could imagine it's a very sad situation to be in. And I understand it was a joke, but it could, rightfully so, it could have really hurt him and his wife. Does that warrant being slapped on national television? No, it's words. And Will Smith is a comedian in his own right, basically. Dude. So, with all that being said, I think 3 months is way too late. I think that it's kind of that ship has sailed. I also think that it might be coming more so out of, the consequences of his actions are hitting him. And probably someone said you need to release a public apology. Even now, if it's too late, you still need to do it because it's never happened. It's better to at least have one out there than none. And maybe he can start rebuilding his career because he got dropped from a lot of things after that. The other thing is that I do believe that Will Smith's apology it was hard to watch because I understood what he was saying. But there's so many different thoughts, It's you're an amazing actor. So it's is it real? And it's and then it's I don't know if he's being real, but something in me tells me he is. And it makes me feel bad for him when he says that his central trauma is disappointing people. And it's yeah, you really disappointed a lot of people with this one. And your wife took the brunt of that too. And it's just one of those things that's damn, it's just fucked up all around, And Chris Rock has every right to never speak to him again and to never communicate with him again. Sorry, it is wine and reactions. Chris Rock has every right to never speak to him again because that is humiliating. Outside of the if there was one-on-one and we heard about it, okay. We heard Will Smith slap the shit out of Chris Rock at the end of that show. No, we all saw it, and Chris Rock is, having to still deal with it. Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle just gifted Chris Rock a goat on his stage and named the goat Will Smith. Yeah, they named the goat Will Smith. So it's still a joke. It's still there's people who are still making fun of it. It's gonna be the rest of his career. That's gonna be a part of his career that he got slapped on national television from a freaking an actor about a joke.
Yeah.
So it sucks.
So there's a couple of different angles I wanted to touch on. One of them was, and again, we never got a chance to talk about it when it originally happened. So
Right. So y'all didn't get to. We did talk about it, but
Right.
not with y'all.
yeah.
So sorry.
So I can understand Will Smith in the moment, his thoughts when he did that, because I really feel for sure it was not about Chris Rock in that moment.
What was it about?
It was about his whole situation with Jada. It was about that red table talk. It was about the world coming at him all the time.
He's like, here go another motherfucker talking
Like,
shit.
it was about all those things that is built up inside of him. And he was like, you know what? On top of the fact that he was laughing at the joke initially.
I
And then,
real quick, because I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to get this out there. I still don't think he was not laughing at the joke. I thought he was still laughing from the last joke. Yes, that's how I saw it. I still feel that way.
well, I feel that he was laughing at the joke. And then he saw Jada's reaction. And then he was like, oh, wait. Damn, yeah, that probably ain't really funny. And then he started, like, probably having so many emotions. And he just reacted. Like, he just reacted in a moment, which was
It was a real bizarre flip.
yeah, because it was just crazy to handle it in that way to go up. I don't think anything has ever been done like that before. But the other thing is, as far as the responses as well, there were a lot of people that had a lot of things to say. Like, for example, Tony Rock, he did a whole little bit.
Who is Tony Rock?
That's Chris Rock brother. He's a comedian as well.
I never heard of him.
Yeah, I mean he ain't as popular as Chris, but he's known. He had a whole little bit. I'll show it to you. He had a bit about. Maybe we'll do a video on that too. He had a bit about Will Smith. It was like, if anybody get up here, try to come at me for me telling jokes, he was going off. It was like right after it though. It was good. It was solid. But as well, it's just so many different. I personally feel like the apology was like solid, just because. But I feel like it was going on too long, and he was just saying like, wait. What I do like is the fact that he didn't try to justify, right? If you notice that in the reaction, he didn't try to justify what he did.
He kind of did a little saying, like, regardless if I feel insulted or disrespected.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know,
But overall,
he could have went on and like talked about it for like a minute or two. He tried to pretty much stay on point and just like express his apology. Everybody he apologized to, like all those things, and I think that's like really solid because he could have. A lot of people, you know, when they do like the public apologies and stuff, they just focus on like, you know, their piece of it, but he was just being completely empathetic to Chris, his mom, because his mom spoke out as well. It was just a lot, you know. So,
you know, like I said, I really was on a different wavelength when it all was happening. So I purposely wasn't looking at the like Chris Rock sympathizers, even though that's wrong of me. More so because I just was like I was so focused on the fact that, you know, like y'all take jokes too far. Y'all think it's all fun and games to talk shit about someone's wife, and they just sit there. It's not the first time he's talked shit about her before. And I personally actually don't like Chris Rock as a like, just like who he is necessarily personally. I've just seen too many things where he's allowed, you know, people to say the N-word around him. He's like just always trying to be so like. I think I was like really biased, but take Chris Rock aside, it doesn't matter who Chris Rock is. Like being slapped is like fucked up, right? But I missed a lot of those things because I think I was purposely trying to not see them because I wanted to keep my thoughts on, you know,
just want to see content in line with the back of what you had to say,
which is what everyone does, right? Like, you know, like politically, religiously, you know, just anytime you have a perspective, a lot of times, I should say all the time, but oftentimes people want to hear things that corroborate or validate their feelings. Yeah. So I didn't get to see those things, but I did see enough, and I did communicate enough that eventually I realized I was being an asshole. I was going to say something else. I was being an asshole. And, we weren't making the right decision. I'd like to see this 1 minute and 49-second video of Tony Rock now.
You want to see it? Let's just do it. Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't know he had a video.
Mm-hmm. It was good. Hopefully it plays. Y'all give me a second.
Let's set some ground rules right now, y'all. Let's set some ground rules. If I say anything tonight, anybody got a fucking problem with? You got one motherfucking option what you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Because if you think you're gonna walk up on this stage, this ain't the motherfucking Oscars. And if you walk your ass up here, you ain't nominated for shit but these motherfucking hands. Oh, we on Pac the rest of the year, nigga. Every time you see me do a show, Pac. I ain't want to start the show like that.
You got what he said?
Every time you see me do a show. Oh, we on Pac the rest of the year, nigga. Every time you see me do a show, Pac.
Side note, for a lot of y'all that don't get that reference, he talking about Tupac, because that was Jada old playing Tupac and Jada, so he just trying to throw shots at Will Smith. He trying to be disrespectful. He like, we on Pac, talking about this music, we gonna play Pac and shit.
Okay.
I ain't want to start the show like that. You gonna hit my motherfucking brother? Cause your bitch gave you a side eye?
You look like Chris Rock. Oh my God.
Oh, it's a lot of rock brothers. Y'all ain't know it's a lot of rock brothers. It's 10 of us, motherfucker. You about to see all the rock brothers. You gonna be like, I didn't even know that nigga was a rock brother. That nigga a rock brother? That's a rock brother? I ain't gonna start the show like that, but I just wanna let y'all know that shit ain't gonna ride. That shit ain't gonna ride, nigga. I don't got a lot of shit to lose, nigga. So more gonna have me on the tour regardless. Y'all might never see me on TV again, but...
I've never seen him on TV.
Now with that said, Riley, how y'all doing?
All right, I like the brother.
Yeah, you know.
More power to you, brother. Here's the thing. See, I wish I had seen that, because that would have made me feel more like, yeah, you right. What the fuck you would?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
it's irreparable, brother.
Yeah.
Irreparable, as Will Smith. That nigga ain't never gonna be your friend again.
Yeah.
Because that's his brother.
Mm-hmm.
You got me fucked up. He probably was like, you slapped my brother like a bitch on the stage like this? He called Jada a bitch.
Slapped him. Like...
He called Jada
like,
a bitch. Everybody hates Jada now.
I get the frustration, but it's the fact that he's like, there's weight classes in this shit, right?
Okay,
like,
you just worry with this weight class.
Because it's like, that's, you picking, essentially it's the equivalent to picking on a kid.
It don't matter. I mean, that part I don't think matters to me.
It matters to me. Because that's some punk shit. Like, it's not like imagine The Rock being up there saying something about
The
Jada.
Rock would never.
Imagine The Rock being up there. You think he gonna go up there with that same energy to The Rock?
Honestly,
they the same height.
The Rock is no, they're not.
Yes, they are.
The Rock is not 6'3".
What is he?
He
like
ain't no damn 6'3".
He's like an inch or two taller than.
Keep talking while I pull this up.
The Rock is like an inch or two taller than.
I don't know. I just imagine The Rock being 7 feet tall.
Nah, at the max he's like.
Dwayne The Rock
6
Johnson.
At the max he's 6'6". But I think
how you go from 6? He's 6'5". It's a big ass motherfucker.
2 inches taller than Will Smith.
I don't care. That's a big man.
But point being, Will Smith is like 6 inches taller than and 50, 75 pounds on Chris Rock.
So it's like hitting a woman.
I said a kid. You gonna say a woman?
He slapped him like he was a woman. I mean, so here's the thing, because we only got like 1 minute because we have to get to this movie. But back to the apology. Too late. I don't know if it's sincere, but I feel like it's sincere. I want to believe it's sincere. but I just don't know. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
A little late, but I feel like it's sincere, but even if it is sincere, it's just so late. I don't know what motivated it. I feel like he's really feeling the heat of his actions and his behavior, and I think that's part of what's motivating it, which takes away from the validity of it, especially with the timing of it. And the other thing that I wish he had said was why he did it. Like, why? You didn't really say, like, everybody's like, he said it wasn't Jada, but well, what the fuck was it? Like, what made you do that?
I mean,
like,
it was Jada.
He said it wasn't. So why did you do it?
Well, yeah, and I'll get you.
He said Jay didn't whisper to me and tell me to do it.
Right.
But was looking
mouth.
at your wife's face and you knew what that face meant. Did that do it?
What do you think was the correct way to handle that situation?
Sit there and don't laugh. Yeah. Sit there with a stone face, like, and everybody can see, like, Chris, all the memes would have been Will Smith and Jada did not find that shit funny. And then it would have been, if they really wanted to take it further, the next day they could have released a video like, Chris Rock's joke was just not funny. And I think at some point, like, we have to learn how to respect people, especially their situations. It would have been a whole victims SAG train for Will Smith and Jada, and Chris probably would have got canceled, and it would have been a whole thing. But because you went so hard, and real quick, because I got 1 minute, this happens a lot, actually, with me in particular, meaning someone will do something, like someone might, like, step on my toe, and I'm, like, the type to, like, stab them in the throat. Like, it's like, okay, you went a little too fucking far. Like, the reaction was not warranted. The behavior did not warrant that. Like, it's not that serious. Or, like, Naj might roll his eyes at me, and I don't talk to him for the rest of the day. Like, it really, like, what's wrong with you? I'm talking to myself here. So, I'm just saying, like, it took away from the validity of what was, like, how they probably felt. And like I said in the beginning, I was focused on how Will and Jada may have felt. But, like, after a while, when you get out of, like, your La La Land, you have to just accept, like, yeah, it's just fucked up. And it really wasn't necessary. Like, and it did it in front of everybody.
Like, the thing is, in hindsight, we can always talk about what should have done. It's always in the moment. It's different. But I do think that the player way, the better way, like the better approach. Let's just say
player way.
Yeah, like as a man, like go to him and say, let's just say you did want to go up on the stage. I holler him like in his ear, cover your mouth, like let it be known what you're trying to say, then come back down, right? Even just that, like that's more like okay, like. That's respectable.
Yeah.
But even if you don't do all that, like make a scene, at the end of the day, if you feel like you need to get that off, like you feel like you need to go up to him and y'all need to fight it out, save it for the backstage. Like save it. Like it's a lot that you putting at risk as well because he decided not to charge, not to file.
I think Chris Rock just wanted it to be done. I think he just was like, "Fuck it, I don't want to do no more."
Yeah.
Like let's just let it go. And knowing that his brother has that type of, like, gumption behind him makes me feel even worse because he's probably, Chris Rock, even though I don't like some of the things he's been a part of, he's probably just one of those people that's just like, I really don't want no problems, y'all. Like, like, I'm not here for that. Like, you know what I mean? Which makes me feel bad for him.
I actually forgot, well, we won't go into it, but I do recall them talking about how he was, like, picked on and bullied his whole entire upbringing in school and such. Like, he was really messed over like that, and he had some like mental problems or situations going on as well, and it was saying like that kind of reminded him of some of the situations that he dealt with as a child growing up.
Has he spoken out about anything?
I think they did say that he responded, but I can't recall. We'll have to look it up, but we'll do another video on it. But that's our thoughts. You all let us know what you all think. What do you feel about this apology? Do y'all think it was the right thing to do? Do you agree with Reina? It was a little bit too late, right? He should have did it right afterwards. What do you think about this apology? Was it on point? Should he said something else? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, tell us what you think. Yeah, tell us what you think.
Side note, we have a website.
Guess what it's called?
Take a wild guess.
Just guess.
Naj letter N Reina.com. That's najandreina.com. We have some custom glasses. So y'all can come.
Najee's trying to sell to y'all.
Y'all can come and wine and react with us. All right. So y'all get y'all wine glasses. Y'all watch these videos. Y'all do the cheers with us. It's gonna be dope. So check it out. wineandreactions.com. That's a lie. NajandReina.com. And we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.
Bye.